472, no one or warrant.
All right, welcome to Ward 1 Talk. This morning we're at a place that a lot of people don't actually get to see, and that is our main maintenance work yard with the City of Markham. And I'm standing here with the Director of Operations, Morgan Jones, who is our point person on winter maintenance, amongst many other things as well. So Morgan, welcome to Ward 1 Talk.
Thank you, Keith. It's nice to be here, and it's nice to have you here at 555 Miller Avenue.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so a lot of people are going to be wondering, what is this that's behind us here? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, this is 4,500 tons of salt. This is one of two new salt barns that was installed last year for the City of Markham through our Sustainability and Asset Management team. Combined, we sit with about 16,000 tons of rock salt that we will use this winter. Typically, we consume on average 27,000 tons. In a bad year, we could use as much as 35,000 tons.
But the salt that we see here, this is the salt that's going to end up on Thornhill streets, is it not?
That's exactly right.
And everyone else in the city, pretty much, right?
Yes.
As well. Do you ever worry about running out of it?
No, we have supply on demand, and we have guaranteed 24/7 salt delivery from our supplier. So as soon as it starts to go out into the road network, we immediately place orders with our supplier and they ship it right away. So it is, as I say, supply on demand, but it's important to keep our inventory up over the course of the winter season.
Right, that's great. Let's talk a little bit about the road maintenance, snow maintenance protocols, because that was something that was relatively new to me too. I live on a local road and I just took the service for what it was, but I understand there really is a science to the order and the prioritizing of the roads and why we do things the way we do. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, the first thing I'd like to say, Councillor, is that the first defense for providing winter maintenance is to not plow. And it is to not use salt unless you have to. We have to be financially responsible, but we also have to be environmentally responsible. And
Right.
we only use enough salt for the event. So if there's a trace of frost, we use a little bit of salt. If there's a lot of snow coming down, we only use it at stops and starts until the snowstorm ends, and then we begin to apply salt to the entire network.
You know, I remember attending one of the press conferences. You had them obviously in years when we didn't have a pandemic, and I remember the mayor saying, bring it on, Old Man Winter, we're ready for Old Man Winter. So that's great to hear. Tell me a little bit about the road classifications, the primary, the secondary, and the local, and how that works. And I understand too, you've got some literature there as well that's gone out to everybody.
So this is a newsletter that every resident in the City of Markham should have received by the end of this week. It breaks into great detail what we do and how we apply our service levels and what guides us. And they're legislated and they're council approved. When I say legislated, there are minimum maintenance standards that the province sets out, and that includes winter maintenance. And they're based on road classification. So to answer your earlier question, a primary is a road that receives the most amount of traffic, and in your ward it would be John Street, Royal Orchard. It's typically located to community centers, schools, seniors buildings, and churches.
Right.
They funnel the traffic through the community. A secondary would be a feeder to that. So they'll bring traffic from a local. A local is the classification, smallest streets, lowest volumes. So there are a category of three is how we prioritize it.
Right. What can residents do to help you and your team with snow maintenance?
The biggest obstacle for our operators is because the equipment is so large, don't park on the road in the front of your house during the winter event. Because it's difficult to get around in some cases. In some cases, cars could be parked beside one another and we can't get through. The other big complaint is when we plow the road, sometimes people will shovel their driveways and push it back out onto the road. So it looks like in many cases, it hasn't been done yet. Or sometimes their private contractor who does their driveway back drags the snow back out onto the road and then leaves it on the road. And it actually is against the law to push snow from the private side of your driveway out onto the road.
Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's always been a bother of mine. It's such a, I mean, if you're going to shovel the snow, shovel it onto your own property, not back onto the road. That's a lazy way of doing snow, your own snow, and to your point, it's costly for the city. So that's great. Last question: what keeps you awake at night?
For me, it's COVID. I'm worried about our staff. We have numerous protocols in place to keep them healthy and safe, and keep them operating with the equipment that's necessary.
Well, thanks for that, and it's comforting to know that you're managing as best as you can under the circumstances and have contingencies in place. And let's hope it doesn't get any worse than it has.
Let's hope we don't have to take any salt out this winter and we see no snow. That would be really nice.
Wouldn't that be something? Anyway, Morgan, thanks for your time.
Thanks for
really
coming down.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, take care.